Finally, it's here. It has been 2 years since July 2019 that we have had a Marvel film in the theaters. How's it going, everyone? Today on the Heroes Advisor, we're talking about, my review of Black Widow. So it's been a really, really long time. It's been since Spider-Man Far From Home, early July 2019, that we've had a Marvel film in the theaters. We've had WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki all releasing on Disney Plus this year all together. So we've had a lot of Marvel content this year. And with 3 other Marvel movies coming. So it's basically 2020 was a rebuilding year for Marvel with the pandemic and all that. Let's jump right into this. Black Widow is 2 hours and 14 minutes long. It's directed by Kate Shortland and it stars Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, and Rachel Weisz as Natasha Romanoff finishes what she did in Civil War, and she goes off to find, discover her past and meet up with her old family. Yeah, I enjoyed this movie. It wasn't a packed theater on opening night. Definitely wasn't. You can kind of tell this is one of the movies that Marvel felt that they had to make because we've had Black Widow in this universe since 2010 with Iron Man 2, and she's never had a standalone film. I'm not quite sure she ever needed one. She played a really good supporting character. I don't think she ever really needed her own film, but nonetheless, here we are. I enjoyed this movie. I'm going to go over the goods, the bads, and I'll just do a quick plot synopsis right now. There will be spoilers, just to let you know. Basically, the plot of this movie, and this kind of flies under my not so good section of my notes here. There isn't much that happens in the movie overall. Basically, Natasha goes to find her sister. After Natasha gets attacked on a bridge, she goes and finds, reconnects with her sister after a long time. And then both of them, they bust their dad out of prison. And then they go find their mom when their plane runs out of fuel. And then they go after the bad guy. That's really about it. It's a really simple Marvel plot premise. Basically, if I could give this like any sort of identity, it plays it safe. The movie plays it really, really safe, kind of like Ant-Man does with its plot. Captain America, Winter Soldier, it's kind of a lesser Captain America, the Winter Soldier. But going over the acting, obviously all the acting, it's a Marvel film. The acting is just superb. The CGI is really good. The action is tense. I really, really enjoy it. Even though we know that Scarlett Johansson is going to play Natasha Romanoff in Infinity War and Endgame, it still feels dangerous. It still feels like, oh, are they even going to make it through this? I really enjoyed it, and Natasha does some really crazy stuff in this film when she's talking with the bad guy, and she has to get rid of this nerve receptor in her head so she can actually be able to hit him because he's controlling her actions, so she won't be able to actually be violent against him. Anyway, going back to my notes, going over the good. The acting is great. I really like the sister relationship with Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh. They haven't seen each other in a long time, and they immediately attack each other. And then after that, you're like, okay, well, they're probably gonna sit down, have a cup of coffee, and go over the last 20 years since they've seen each other. But their relationship throughout the film is really, really solid. They bounce off each other pretty great, and it just kind of keeps you interested. Relationships like that can really just like keep you engaged in whatever whatever story, whatever movie you're watching. Action was entertaining. After seeing Fast 9 like 2 weeks ago, it can feel a little like cartoony like that, just a little bit. I really like the costumes in this film, especially the White Widow suit and a lot of the promotional material and the breaking dad out of prison scene. Though the white really just pops when there's always been a lot of black-ish, black themed suits in the MCU. And then the more human side of Natasha is shown a lot through this film. And that's probably the most valuable part of it, because I don't really think you needed this film, but here it is, and it's always great to have more Marvel content, and I loved seeing another Marvel movie in a theater. But I think this movie justifies itself by it doesn't delve so much into her past. Age of Ultron is more your movie for that. It establishes a lot of what she had and the things that she was involved with and the people that she knew before she became an Avenger. And I think that's valuable. So you get to know her a little bit better. It's kind of interesting what prequels can do that even after she died in Avengers Endgame. Going over the bads, so Taskmaster is a great Avengers villain that's been in the comics for, almost like 40 or 50 years, something like that. Taskmaster in this film is a mute and doesn't say anything, has no speaking lines in the film whatsoever. Taskmaster had great action and can mimic anything just by watching somebody do a move. Any character, he can mimic that move. So unfortunately, Taskmaster felt like a side character and could have been more of a main villain. Moving on, the Red Room is where the widows are all trained, in Russia, to be secret agents that topple governments and stuff. Now, the Red Room was just a building in Russia. In this movie, the Red Room is a flying fortress. I guess the Red Room is a fortress now. Why is the Red Room a fortress? The Red Room could have literally just been a building. I mean, I guess it makes for the final action sequence, the skydiving scene, to be there. But yeah, I'm not really sure why the Red Room is a flying fortress. Like, who made that? And yeah, basically the film, it didn't really need to happen. I enjoyed it a lot. I love the special effects. Marvel effects can really, they can really just like knock your socks off. Again, it felt a little bit, like the action felt a little bit like Fast 9. There's a car chase, there's a skydiving scene, all of that. But it just felt like a safe Marvel film. It's almost like the studio just kind of wanted to get it out. I mean, they did. It was ready last May 2020. So it felt like they just wanted to, just like wipe their hands clean of it, get it out there. It's still a really good Marvel film. If someone who doesn't really like Marvel films out there, they will possibly point to this one and be like, look how samey these movies all are. Look at the plot formula. It's always the same. They get their powers. This origin story. They team up. They have some action scenes, and then they go after the bad guy. Pretty samey. Most Marvel films, after I see them, I want to go back to the theater and watch them again. Just give it a rewatch. Not this one. But again, it's just kind of one of those movies. They just kind of had to get out there. It's definitely entertaining, but I had some issues with it. But overall, it was a great movie experience. It's just good to see another Marvel movie in the theaters again. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll try to get another one of these out here pretty soon, maybe on Loki or something. All right, well, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.